Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, how is it going? In this occasion, I'm gonna try to explain to you about direct object and indirect object. In bahasa Indonesia, direct object is objek langsung, sedangkan indirect object adalah objek tidak langsung. So, how to identify them in English? Okay, let's get started. First of all, the object of the sentence is present when a noun is receiving action from a verb. In an English sentence, the subjects and verbs usually come before the direct and indirect object. So, if you know how to identify what the subjects and verbs are, finding the direct object and indirect object will not be that hard. So, the first thing that you have to do is you have to know how to identify subject and verb in a sentence. Let's start with the direct object. A direct object is a noun or a pronoun that receives an action of the verb in the sentence. Dengan kata lain, direct object adalah sebuah kata ganti atau kata benda, bisa berupa benda ataupun orang yang menerima sebuah tindakan pada kalimat itu sendiri. For example, Miss Dian wears glasses. So, the first thing that we need to do is find the subject and verb in the sentence. So our subject here is Miss Dian. Yes, Miss Dian is a subject. And then find the verb in the sentence. Our verb is wears. And then the last, try to make a question using what. For example, what does Miss Dian wear? The answer is glasses. Therefore, glasses is a direct object because it's received the action wears. Okay, I'm gonna show you some examples about direct object.
Before we go to the example, I'll remind you about direct object. The direct object is answer the question whom or what. So we got two ways to identify the direct object. The first one, identify the subject and the verb in the sentence. And then the next one, ask the question what or whom. For example, the queen wears a crown. So, the first thing that we need to do is identify the subject and verb in the sentence. So, our subject here is the queen, and our verb is wears. The next one, try to make a question using what or whom about the verb wear. For example, what does a queen wear? The answer is crown. Therefore, crown is the direct object. It receives the action wears. The next one, Ben likes his classmates. The first one, identify the subject and verb. So our subject here is Ben and our verb is likes. The next one, ask what or whom question. So, Ben likes whom? The answer is his classmates. Therefore, classmates is the object. Another example, Lucy tells her friend a secret. Now, let's find the subject and verb. So, our subject here is Lucy, and our verb is tells. Now, let's make a question using what. Lucy tells what? Or you can use, what does Lucy tell to her friend? The answer is a secret. Therefore, secret is the direct object.
Now, let's discuss about indirect object.
Indirect object is the noun or pronoun that receives the direct object. Dengan kata lain, indirect object merupakan kata benda atau kata ganti yang menerangkan untuk siapa tindakan itu dilakukan. For a sentence to have an indirect object, there should always be a direct object. An indirect object usually comes before direct object. It answers the questions to whom or for whom the action of the verb is performed. It is the one receiving the direct object. Like what we did with the direct object, we also need to identify first the subject and the verb in the sentence. And the second one, identify the direct object, and the last one, Ask the questions for whom or to whom is the action of the verb performed. For example, Grandma bakes my friend some cakes. Let's identify the subject and the verb in the sentence. So our subject here is Grandma and our verb is bakes. Now identify the direct object. But the problem is there are two objects here, my friends and cake. Well, if we still remember how to identify the direct object, we can ask a question with what or whom. So we can use what does grandma bake? The answer is some cakes. So our direct object is cakes. Now identify the indirect object. Remember, ask a question for whom or to whom. So the answer is my friend. Therefore, my friend is the indirect object. The next example. My brother gave me a bracelet. Our subject here is my brother. And our verb is gave. Then the direct object is bracelet. How about the indirect object? Now make a question using to whom or for whom. To whom does my brother give a bracelet? Of course, the pronoun me. So the indirect object is me.
Okay, enough for this session. I hope you can identify the direct and indirect object after you watch this video. See you on the next video. See you. Bye-bye. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.